All right, let's talk about assignments 10, 11, and 12. And let's take a step back before we take a step forward. So let's look at some of the links, the line of reasoning that goes through the assignments this semester. Started with a narrative essay, moved on to a rhetorical analysis, able to apply rhetorical technique to a published professional writer to break down things like what was their purpose, their audience, their use of logical appeals, how do they build their credibility, their use of emotional appeals, some of the sentence level techniques they use for emphasis or other things. And so now you're going to take what you learned there from a mentor text that you wrote a rhetorical analysis essay about. How did that professional writer, Pamela Paul, David McCullough Jr., how did they achieve their purpose? How did they balance their use of logical and emotional appeals? How effective were they? Can you take some of that information, some of those things that you learned, that you saw modeled for you, and can you use them in an argumentative research essay of your own? So you just turned in a final rhetorical analysis. Look at my comments, take what you've learned, keep that rhetorical techniques handout because it's going to be handy for you. These are the tools that people use while they write to achieve things, to be persuasive, to be entertaining, to be informative, to achieve their purpose. So assignment number 10 is you're going to look at a TED Talk by Cal Newport, and it is about technology. And you're going to answer 15 questions that are going to help prime you for breaking down his TED Talk, mining it for an argumentative stance. So what you're doing is looking at that and breaking down for some rhetorical technique. That's a line that, we're carrying over from previous assignments. What's his thesis? What's his purpose? What's his concession statement? What are his opinions? What are his facts and statistics, logical appeals? What loaded words, emotional appeals? What evidence does he provide? Does he address counter arguments? That'd be pro-catalepsis. What's his tone? What's his credibility? And then what are some topics that you could possibly choose to write about based on his TED Talk? Now, you're not arguing what he's arguing. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be his main argument. You're just looking for a thread to pull, something that you could then turn into an argumentative stance of your own. When we move on and we look at assignment number 11, assignment number 11 is then for you to make a research essay proposal. So what's the topic you are exploring? Why are you interested in researching and writing a paper about this topic? Develop a tentative thesis, find a scholarly source, find a popular source. This is just some preliminary footwork to make sure that, number one, you're going on the right path, that there's some research there that you can use so you're not wasting your time when you go to write this and you hit a wall. Because honestly, the best thing that you can do is research. Some people say, they feel like doing the research is extra, it's a unnecessary step, but when it comes to an argumentative research essay, it is 100% essential. But at the same time, sometimes students come to me and they say, I can't hit 1,200 to 1,500 words. What am I supposed to do? Research. So just like I've said before, when we're looking at rhetoric, I am a English instructor. I have 3 degrees from the University of Cincinnati. I am not credible. That does not give me instant credibility to write about the things that I could, like if I write an essay, I try to get it published in the New York Times about technology. I don't have instant credibility because I can write well, which is what the University of Cincinnati taught me: how to write well, how to read critically, how to be able to analyze things. Yes, that bodes well for my ability to think critically, but that does not necessarily make me an expert on anything I could choose to write about. Case in point, Pamela Paul, opinion writer for the New York Times, at least she was. That that did not give her instant credibility. She had to build her credibility each time she wrote about something on the backs of more knowledgeable others. The facts and statistics she provided, the people that she referenced, that would be the same for me. It's the same for you. So if you don't have the ideas, go find the ideas, right? Go find the more knowledgeable others and what are their ideas. Quote from them, reference them, read their stuff, and then walk away from it for a little bit. Let it percolate, let it sit, let it marinate in your brain so that the ideas become your own. You can't have ideas unless you're exposed to ideas, right? So you always have to do the research. So walk yourself through the TED Talk, answer the questions, then make a research proposal, and then write the draft. So that's 10, 11, and 12. So focused on the research, the argumentative stance, developing one. It has to be a thread that you pull from the Cal Newport TED Talk. Work your way through some of the rhetorical questions and technique, and end for assignment number 10 with some topics that you could write about. Then do the research proposal, find at least one scholarly and one popular source that you could use. You're going to need more than just those two, but at least you get a sampling and you can understand kind of what research is out there and whether you can get to the 1,200 to 1,500 word length, and then craft the draft. Okay, and I'll be there every step of the way, commenting on assignment number 10 and your work on the video, assignment number 11 with your proposal, and then assignment number 12 with your draft. All right, so I look forward to reading your work. And remember, raise your hand by sending me an email if you have any questions or concerns.